The story of this game is Reed and Mahomes and Spags against the green wall of talent. And Philadelphia is a little like that Seahawk team you faced. I remember that because I'm from the Pacific Northwest. And everybody thought I was a Patriot homer and a Brady homer. My entire time, I've always been like Brady homer guy, which is not a bad guy to be a homer for. And I said, I got to be honest, I don't know if they can beat Seattle. Like, I don't think. When you go and Mahomes is going to face a Philadelphia team, Tom, they may have 9 Hall of Famers. I mean, Jalen Carter looks like, and that Seahawk team was insane. Go back to that game. Did you ever privately say to yourself, I don't know if we have the dudes for that. I mean, they are. Did you ever, you wouldn't say it publicly, but what was your mindset like Mahomes this week when he watches film and goes, they don't have a hole. They don't have a weakness. How did you think about Seattle?
Yeah. Well, that's a great example. That defense was stacked from the pass rush to the backers to the secondary to the scheme. And not only that, offensively, they had, Marshawn, a young Russell playing great, dynamic guys in the pass game. And it took all of us to win. And I think when I look at this game, if you're going to beat the Chiefs, it has to be the ultimate complimentary game, because you could score to take the lead with 45 seconds left in the game and give the ball back to Patrick in that offense. And the whole world believes that Patrick, including himself and including the defense he's going against, that he's going to drive right down the field and score and take the lead again. So it's like how Buffalo beat them in the regular season. Buffalo was aggressive, even though they were up 2 points to, take the ball and go for it on that, 4th and 2. And Josh made a great play and scrambled in for the touchdown. But it was almost like you got to get up 2 scores in the end of the game to feel like there's any relief, because Patrick has an amazing ability to perform his best in the biggest moments. And there's a lot of fear that's in the other opponents late in the game. And that's a good feeling to have if you're the opposing quarterback.
Oh, I know. And you, Tiger, I always said this, Mahomes, you, Tiger, when you could hear the gallery cheering and Tiger was in a different foursome and you knew he just hit a great shot, it got completely in your head as you knew, oh, he just hit a birdie. And I think there's part of that is that you do get, so, I mean, you faced Mahomes in a Super Bowl. If I recall, it was a pretty good game for you. Did you go into that game thinking, guys, we got to score blank? I mean, you got in everybody's.
Okay. Who cares about the Brady Chiefs Super Bowl right now, Okay. So, Tom Brady said a few interesting things that I really want to unpack here, that I find pretty interesting for a few different reasons, honestly. First, I'll start off with, I totally agree with complimentary football, and I talked about that a lot over this playoffs of how the Ravens, their lack of complimentary football, the Bills' lack of complimentary football, et cetera, et cetera. And I do believe that is what the Eagles will need to do. And obviously, you want to be up 2 scores at the end of the game, yes. But this whole aura and lore around Patrick Mahomes, it's well-deserved in the Kansas City Chiefs, but it does not feel like the Philadelphia Eagles buy into that. And other players and other coaches and both current and ex have talked about this, that the Bills and the Ravens and the Bengals, they've faced the Chiefs so many times that there is this thing that's so built up. And the Eagles just don't feel that way. They just don't have that sense. Like they believe that they are the ones who belong. That they are the best team in the NFL, that this is their Super Bowl, that they're not taking over, they're not taking on this, the dark side, the empire. They don't feel that way. They obviously respect and know, because it's, and I've kind of unpacked this a little bit before when Saquon Barkley kind of had a couple of his sound bites, because like Nick tried to paint it in a way that like Saquon was like being too confident or something, and it's like, That's not what it is. That's not the place where the Philadelphia Eagles are coming from. They respect the opponent. They respect Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost to them in the Super Bowl, so they know what that feels like. They lost them in a Super Bowl, so they have no delusions that they could lose this, that they could never lose this game. Like, they know they can lose this game. The Eagles know they can lose this game. They know that. They felt it. They felt it. But they also feel like we're the better team. We're the better team. We know this team can still win, but it's going to take 100% of us. We are the underdogs. We have this underdog mentality, but we are also amazing. We belong here. There's a difference when you're an underdog and it's kind of like you're kind of just like lucky to be there or fortunate to be there. It's like, well, we're an underdog because people believe that this team is so special, the Kansas City Chiefs. We're about to show the world something else. We're about to show them who we are. This story, Colin's like, the story of this Super Bowl is Andy Reid and Spags, and it's just like, nah. The story of this Super Bowl is Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae, Dallas, Jalen Carter, Saquon Barkley. It's all of them. Like, they're like, this is not the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl. This is the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl. And again, we know that we have to show the world why that is. We know that we are not just given everything. We thought we were just going to win that Super Bowl in 22, and we did not. We were up at half. We were like, all right, baby, we got this. We were celebrating the NFC Championship game. Now it's all about business. Like, I saw a soundbite with Darius Slay. He talked about, like, this is a work trip. That's what this is. This is a work trip. Yeah, family's going to be there. Other people are going to be there. This is a work trip. Like, they are about the business now. You can see it with Jalen Hurts. You can see it with Saquon. You can see it with Darius Slay. You can see it with Jalen Carter. You can see it with all the guys. This is business. This is business. And enough of these players have been there. They know. They're even approaching this Super Bowl differently than how they approached it in 22. When you first make it to the Super Bowl and you have this excitement, like you are, you're going to be like, this is awesome. This is great. Everything's a little extra sparkly. Now, they're like, no. You know what's awful? Losing the Super Bowl. So they're doing everything they can to win this game. Everything they can. And they have the confidence in knowing that they can. They have the confidence in knowing they can stop Patrick Mahomes. But they're not assuming. They're not like, nah, this team's nothing. We're clearly going to win this game. No, because they know it. They know what it's like to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Spags on the biggest stage. They felt it. Jalen Hurts has felt it to his core. A.J. Brown has felt it to his core. They've all felt it. But they've also felt what it's like to win. And they've been here before. They now have the benefit of experience. That is not what they had in 22. They had a couple players, obviously a handful of them, but not enough players that were in the really important spots, right? No position players, really. It was just, it was like Lane Johnson, Kelsey, Graham, Cox, which is important, but no coaching, none of the coaches, Shane Steichen, Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, AJ, Devontae, like, they were not really there. Now the core of this team, for the most part, has been there. And now some of the younger guys that haven't been there, they have those core guys who can really be like, hey, like, focus up. I know you're happy to be here. I know it. I get it. I feel it. I was you a couple of years ago. This is business, man. This is business. We are bringing, they have leaders now. They have a winning culture. They had to create a winning culture in 22. They have a winning culture now that's rooted into this team. So that's a cool spot to be in if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. But also make no mistake about it. I mean, Colin's comparing it to the Seattle Seahawks. Like, did you think you were going to beat them right? Tom Brady's like, I didn't think we could win that game. And also, again, they were very fortunate to win that game. They're like, make no mistake about it. The New England Patriots should have lost that game. They should have lost that game. It took an absolute prayer for them to win that game. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake. And I've talked about this in months past about, when Tom Brady has won Super Bowls that he probably didn't deserve to win, and then he balls out against the Philadelphia Eagles. Ironically, he plays like one of the best, games you could ever play, but then loses. So it's like he's played better in certain games and lost and played worse. And that's not to say that Tom Brady played bad in that Super Bowl, but like, that was the Seahawks game to lose. Like they had that game, and you know, we don't have to rehash kind of how that all unfolded, but you know, that's why Super Bowls and a single game in general can just get kind of crazy. But let's not act like it was like Tom Brady's heroics that willed his team to win that game, and it was just because Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are special. If you want to live in that narrative, by all means, you go do that. That's not how I watched that game at all, okay? At all. That was some Patriots voodoo magic, and we know that the Kansas City Chiefs got that, you know, voodoo magic right now, and it's up to the Eagles to not make the mistakes that the Seattle Seahawks made. So, we will find out soon enough. We will find out soon enough. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles and what it will take to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way. Let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.